Yeah. Mr. Motivation. Look, you know where to come to if you ever get in trouble. 0 to 100 hours, you should get there on the double. Never deviate the plan once you get outside the huddle. Cause whenever life hits you, they expecting you to fumble. This the observation post. We got vision coast to coast. We had Tucker walk with life and everybody needs some rope. We gon' take over the world until there's nothing left to conquer. I ain't worried about a sucker trying to infiltrate the bunker. It's the
bunker. Yeah, this the bunker. This the bunker. Welcome to the bunker. This the bunker. Yeah, this the bunker. This the bunker. Welcome to the bunker. This the
good people. What's up? Let's go. Listen. Happy Wednesday. Happy Game 1 NBA Finals Day. You know what it is. Knicks in 6. Let's go. Bruns, what up? Text me, my G. Listen, some of you aren't confused. You just have more responsibility than direction right now. Tonight matters because growth doesn't wait until you feel ready. It shows up the moment life starts depending on you. If you stay, you'll walk away with a decision on how to stop second guessing and start showing up with intention, even while you're still figuring it out. So if you've been carrying weight but not clarity, stay with us. Stay with us, TikTok. Stay with us, IG. Stay with us, Facebook. Stay with us, YouTube and LinkedIn. You're tapped into the breakthrough bunker. Run from the storm. We learn to dance in it. Yeah, indeed. I'm your host, Murph, a.k.a. Mr. Motivation. And this space is built for people who are tired of feeling stuck, tired of playing small, and ready to move forward with intention. Whether you with us live or you catching us on the replay, stay with us. This one matters. Shouts out to Challenger Fitness Gym in the building. We got Poppy Pay on the line. Talking reckless, but we're going to give them some space and grace. A lot of people are waiting to feel ready before they step into who they're called to be. And life doesn't work like that. Today we have someone with us who had to grow up in real time where responsibility showed up before clarity. And if you've ever felt like you're leading, building, or showing up for others while still figuring yourself out, you already understand. The 10, lean in. This one's going to meet you where you are. Good people, let me hit the chat. Good people, listen, coming to the stage, my G, Mr. Isiah Tucker. Isiah, what up?
What's up, my brother?
Happy Wednesday. How you feeling, man?
Oh, I'm good. Glad to finally be on the bunker. The breakthrough bunker. Yeah.
Listen,
I was teasing you earlier. You had the muscles out, man. I'm a Celtics fan, so I'm a little hurt, but it's cool. It's all good.
Listen, it's been about 30 years, Isiah, since we've been back there, man. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I gotta give us some space, some grace, baby.
No, it's definitely due. It's time for y'all. However, I'm not sure y'all gonna pull it. I think the Spurs might do it in 7.
I mean, well, I'll tell you this: it's going 6 or 7. It's going 6 or 7. Yep. I think Game 1, the Knicks have to win. I think this is that staple game, in my opinion. And you know, it's going to be interesting. It's not going to be like what they was doing in Easton, 20, 30, 40 crazy points. Nah, them boys, these boys going to play different. So super excited. So let's dive in, man. Tell us how you and I are connected.
Yes. So I got connected with you through a mutual friend, Angelo, actually. He goes by Ambitious Angelo. And connected with you just based on the strength of what you do through hip hop, through music. You know, I know we'll get into my organization and the connection there with music. But yeah, you came through, brother. So I hosted an event at Anna Maria College. Told you a little bit about it. We had never met in person, and you came through, and I was like, wow, this dude's really solid. Like, and you were pouring into the college students. So that's what really, gravitated me to you and to learn more about you, as a man, and all the things you do.
Yo, I forgot about that.
Yeah,
That was
man.
dope too.
No, thank
I
you.
was really impressed with the fact that you got your vision, your idea, like onto the college coursework. You actually, that was super dope.
Yeah, and I think that really just came through, because we have I think as Black men in Worcester County, we got a real tight bond and connection through the Black Men's Dinner Club. And so that's how that really came. That's how that really came together. I wasn't sure how to pull it off, but yeah, all the brothers in there helped me with that. So
wow, super dope.
Kudos to the crew. Yeah,
it speaks to the power of network, the power of leveraging dope minds around you. Now, Isiah, let's say before the titles, the work. I mean, you do dope work, the impact you have, responsibilities you have. Who is Isiah Tucker? Like, not what you do, just who's the dude, the dope dude?
No, I love this question because I do wear, how they say, wearing many hats. First and foremost, bro, I'm a man of God. That's been instilled in me since day one. And so I have a deep faith, a deep spiritual connection with God. I try and connect with God multiple times a day. So that's like really the core and center of who I am, striving to be more connected to God spiritually. I am a father, so I have a son who's 13. This young man is just like me, just like me. Very calculated, very kind of quiet, great personality. So I'm a father, I'm a husband. I've been with my wife for a long time. We met each other in college and been rocking together ever since. Like I mentioned, I'm a Celtics fan. I'm a basketball guy. Basketball has kind of like my first love. That's my therapeutic outlet. I know you talk about pickleball being yours. I wake up every Friday morning, 5 a.m. getting shots up. I don't care if I'm limping. You know what I mean? I gotta get the pop the extra ibuprofen. It's just a part of me. And like, the other stuff is around mental health, mental wellness. But like mental wellness in a sense of like really helping people connect with themselves. Understanding the narratives that they're telling themselves and how much it's impacting them. That's a huge passion of mine. That's you experience a level of freedom when you're so connected with yourself, right? So that's a big part of me. I'm a licensed independent clinical social worker. Been doing this work for 23 years now in terms of mental wellness for the community. And that's me, man. That's me. The last thing, I'm like a hip hop head, right? So I love everything related to hip hop culture, from the ratchet stuff to the intellectual stuff, everything in between. I think it's beautiful what we've been able to do, us as Black and brown folks, through hip hop. And it speaks volumes to our power, like our superpower for real. So I love everything about hip hop, specifically music, but like hip hop culture in general, bro. Yeah.
You tapped into the Roots picnic just happened?
Oh man. Yes, I love everything about it. So I haven't seen a lot. I've seen a lot of Jay.
Of
Jay. I felt I kind of am conflicted about him coming out and doing that last bit, just a cappella, the sort of freestyle joint. Because I'm like, yo, he's evolved. Like, why are we even doing this? But at the same time, this is hip hop. This is who he is. This is like culture,
right, to the core.
And he's been quiet for a long time, so he's kind of like, let's set this record straight. Which I do respect, but yeah, I don't know. I'm still analyzing that.
So listen, you talked about mental health. What's your, especially with your background as a clinical social worker, it's definitely, I think, I don't know, the last 5-10 years become a thing, right?
Yeah.
So what's your take on that? What's your position when it comes to just mental health and wellness, especially with Black men?
Yeah, I think it's been a blessing. I think it's been long overdue. Um, naturally it gets oversaturated with just like anything does with stuff that's not necessarily factual.
Mm,
So it's imperative for us to do our due diligence and understanding what mental health actually is, what it means. But I love the fact that the stigma is lessening and people are
mm,
really taking care of themselves and their mind through therapy. Sort of even the traditional modalities. I think you know this well. They're not really designed for us. So being able to
mm-hmm,
find practitioners like that are Black and brown that can support our community in a real way, not just with the traditional sit down, tell me how you feel. There's so
mm-hmm.
many other avenues to tap into, and I think people are really getting exposed to those and connected to those.
Mm, indeed, indeed.
Yeah.
With mental health, it's funny. I was working at was it I forget the name of it. Damn, I was there about a couple years ago.
Hmm.
It's University Pittsburgh Medical Center. That's what it is.
Okay.
And I was the almost like the face of the org representing the president in the community. And there was an opportunity to do a mental health first aid training. I never heard of mental health first aid, which essentially is like physical first aid, but mental health.
Hmm.
And I took the course, then I had the opportunity to become an instructor. So I've been doing that for the last probably 6 years, training nationally, training people on how to become mental health first aiders, where you're able to identify signs and symptoms of someone experiencing the mental health challenge, even substance abuse as well. So I got smart around it, and now I'm able to share that out. So when we talk about mental health, I like to always just throw out there that there's a thing called mental health first aid.
Hmm.
So we'll check that out. I haven't done any trainings out here. I do mine all by Zoom, but super
I remember.
something to tap into.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh,
No, I just feel like there's so many, so like there's so many patterns of behavior that I think people just don't realize they subscribe to,
yep.
connected to just trauma, childhood, growing up,
Mm-hmm.
trauma. So I know, like for the therapists that are listening or the clinicians, folks in the mental health field, like there's a term called big T, little T. So big trauma, little trauma. They say that the little T is actually more causes more harm and stress than the big T. The big T is like 9/11. Like if
Mm,
you kind of engage in that. A little T, it might be something like um just a small loss, someone passing away, like grandma passing away, and you feel it. But you might not pay attention to it because you feel like it's a small thing. But these things add up, right? And so as they add up, if we're not paying attention to it, we kind of get into these cycles, these habits, and and it's it's important because after you know it, years go by, and then you're kind of lost in like, why am I doing this? So that's why I
mm,
think some of the things to tap into around mental health, mental wellness practices, routines, it's everything. That's why I do what I do.
mm. I'm digging. I'm digging. Let's hang out. Let's talk about fatherhood. We got Father's Day coming up.
Yeah.
Um, Dope Dad's Day, as I would call it.
Nice.
How was you? How was your household structure? You had your dad in the house?
I did, man. I did. He was Superman to me. So
Mm,
growing up, yeah, so it's myself and my younger sister. My sister's 6 years younger than me. Same dad. And then
mhm,
mom and dad were together for like kind of like the first, they were kind of off and on, but like the first like 12 years of my life. And I
mm,
saw my dad work 3 jobs. He was working night shift. He had his main job. And then like he was working at liquor stores. He was just doing different things to take care of us. Mom was a
mm,
hustler as well. She was doing the same. But it's different, right? Because you see your dad and it's like, sort of an emulation of an older you. So
mm,
um very nurturing. He was extremely he was a dude. He would talk. He would break things down. He'd give you game. But he'd also, like, to be clear, he'll put the whooping on you too. Like
Get that
you cross that
smoke, yeah.
line. I always
Yes,
used to
sir.
say he would turn into the Hulk for real. Like there was a line, and once you cross it, that was it. You're gonna get that work. But
No.
very, very analytical guy, and he was a community guy, which is where I
Okay.
get it from. He was a
Wow.
guy who was running like youth group. He was the basketball coach. He coached like pretty much all my teams growing up. He's an organizer. He's organizing community cleanups. And he's the guy who walks into a room and just everybody connects to him. And he just has that personality. To this day, we go back home where I grew up, and he's like the mayor. Like, people remember him, like, oh, I remember when 20 years ago you gave me money to whatever, and he's just like, like, I don't remember, but that's
Yeah.
my dad, man.
Dope.
And what's also super dope about my dad is that when life started lifing and he kind of messed up, he owned it. It took him a little bit, but he owned it, and he works to this day very hard on maintaining such a strong relationship with me and my wife and the family. That's my dad. I can go on forever, but he's
Dope,
like
dope.
kind of like
Now, so did he impact him or your mom's impact how you parent?
I'm more like him. I'm more like him for sure. I'm the lecturer. I'm the talker. I want you to really understand the complexity of what's going on. I'm the guy. I love to hold like Sunday Bible study, and let's break down the scripture. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about our week. I got that from my dad. Yeah. My mom was more outspoken, very nurturing, but nurturing in the sense of she's just passionate. She's not really good. You're not gonna get a lot of hugs, and that was not her thing.
Okay.
But she always shows up. She show up for me, and very, very passionate. She'll go to war for me, like strong advocate for me. Yeah.
Damn. It's a definitely blessing to have a dope mom and dad, you know what I'm saying, when you growing up as a youth, and the impacts or influences how you parent, you know what I mean? Now back to you. Whatever we bouncing around. Whatever any gaps between who you were and who you thought you needed to become?
Oh man, yeah, for sure. So that's a tough one, but so I think for me growing up, I was a little sheltered. I mean, we had a lot of stuff going on as a kid, a lot of stuff I didn't understand, but again, my parents did a lot to try and like protect me from stuff. And so with that, I think I kind of, going into teenage years and young adulthood, I kind of had like a narrow mindset. I didn't dream big enough. And I was limiting myself to, okay, I'm gonna get a house, get the fresh whip, get married, have a few kids, like just checking the boxes off, not really living, not even knowing what else was out there until
Right.
I got much older. And life started life in a little bit, and it tests you as to like who you are for real.
Now, did you have mentors growing up?
It was really my dad and my mom.
Okay.
I was very quiet. I was very guarded, very protective of my family. I talk to my wife about this all the time. Like, I never really invited people to the crib. Like, I was always outside, but when we're home, it's like that's my safe space. Y'all don't get to meet my parents unless you like you solid, So yeah, that's how I lived my life for a while. And I think looking at the younger version of myself, man, I just sold myself short in a lot of ways. A lot of the things I could have tapped into so much younger.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's funny you said that you didn't bring people to the house. So it was me and my sister. My sister was younger than me, and my mom's in Barbados, super strict. But my mom's was the homie, so I be hollering at shorties, and they think, "Oh, I met your mom's." No, mom's is the homie. That don't be nothing.
Yeah.
Super funny. So, question: every hey Jaden, what up? We got Sneaker Sapphire on the check-in.
Jaden, what's good, bro?
Yeah, he and Isaiah said, "What up, boy?" Every meaningful path has a moment. Sometimes it's a breakthrough, sometimes it's a breakdown, sometimes it's both. What moment shifted the trajectory of your life, Isaiah?
Yeah, man. I think it was there's a couple huge moments, but I want to lean on so I was 19 years old. I was in college, was at a 2-year school. Doing all right in school. I wasn't really like dean's list, but I wasn't failing out. But anyway, it was my second year of college, and my uncle, who's one of my dad's good friends, he comes to my dorm room kind of randomly, and he's like, "Oh yeah, yo, we're gonna go see your dad," and he takes me to the hospital, and I walk in the room. My dad, super like disoriented. He actually called me my sister's name, and I literally just like froze. Now, mind you, when I walked in, there was like it felt like 50 people, bro. Like it felt like everybody was there. Everybody knew what was going on way before me. I come in and it's like all eyes on me, and my dad's just like a shell of himself. Like so then they hit me with like, yeah, he's never really gonna recoup. Like he's never gonna fully recover. He had a massive stroke and heart attack at like, I think he was like 43. And he was very healthy. Like he didn't drink, he didn't smoke, none of that. Ever since pretty much I was very young, he cut all that out. So there was no real rhyme or reason for me to like wrap my head around what was going on.
Right.
Shook my world completely. And I learned the lesson of, tomorrow's not promised. We got to really stop playing around, and that's when I really started to explore like purpose and just what I'm doing, what I was doing for real. At 19, there was a lot of distractions, right? Like there's a lot of different things to get into. I'm on a college campus, I'm single, I'm outside, I'm exploring. And then my dad I almost lost him. And so after I saw him to recover, like, Sean, I promise you. So also he got diagnosed with cancer. It's crazy. Diagnosed with cancer around that time too. So they hit me with all the like, yeah, likelihood, 10%, 20% recovery. You're gonna have to help him go to the bathroom, all the things. To 6 months later, he's walking on his own. And a year later, it's like nothing happened.
Wow.
So that strengthened my faith in God, and also gave me a clarity on like what I'm supposed to be working towards and doing. And a lot of other things around loss around that time too, which really, it was like divine intervention almost. It was really a lot of messages from God, and that's how I started to get really tapped in and spiritually connected with the higher power.
Man, I had a similarly, I don't think we talked about this. So I was up here. My mom's is in Queens. My sister called me one day, and I talk to my mom's every day. If I call and she don't answer the phone like in 2 rings, I'm like, what happened? But my sister called, like, yo, your mom's ain't responsive. I'm like, what? So she had like this, they call it a mini stroke. Her heart wasn't performing, whatever. And you just like, oh man, it's funny because years ago, my man, his mom's, and they like wrecked his world. It's like, dang, in my mind trying to like fathom like what does that look like when my mom's is not answering the phone, right? And like, how can I prepare for that? And he was like, yo, Murph, listen, buddy, there's no preparation, And in my mind, I was like, how do I, so this happened recently, and I was down there with her for about a week. So she doing her thing now. She back like you said, like nothing happened. But the moments that you like, yo, just cherishing the little thing. One of the things I study, Isaiah, I don't know if we talk about this, is what people, the elderly who are on their deathbed, what are they saying? And yeah, I've been studying that because I don't want to get there and be saying the same things they saying. So what are they saying now? And let me, get on the right track. So things they're saying, wish I spent time with family, wish I didn't prioritize work, wish I took more risk. Wish I didn't what was it? When they're like acting like they weren't being themselves, they're performing in front of others. And I'm like, yo, this is real, So it's something I encourage y'all, watching, listening. Just go Google some of the things that they're saying. It's a study, and it's like you don't want to be that person. You know what I'm saying? So I live every day.
That level of freedom though is euphoric, right? Like not worrying so much about what everyone else is thinking of you. I'm working hard for what? Like, is it to really provide for the family, or is it to get a nice car, right? Is it to, the car don't really, I mean, it's cool. You'll enjoy it for whatever, maybe a year, maybe 6 months. I mean, for me, bro, I get what you're saying. It's really important to crystallize what matters.
Let's talk about failure, because I know a lot of us, we hang on success and we talk, I know it's like life is this highlight reel, but I know you've talked about perspective and reframing circumstances, and I think it's something people struggle with. So what's something failure has taught you that success never could?
Well, I think the main thing is that failure really doesn't. So I'm big on association, word association. Failure is a beautiful thing. It's an opportunity, right? So there's a classic line that Kobe says that failure doesn't exist. That's the time I've been on for a long time, that learning that failure is just literally teaching you things. I look at, you familiar with like the book of Job, the story of Job in the Bible?
A little, not a lot. You give us, talk to us.
A quick thing is, so Job was a dude who had everything. This dude was significantly blessed, no worries, and people looked at him as like an upstanding man of God. And the devil literally, so the story is the devil says to God, I can get Job. You've blessed Job, but let me test him for real. Let's strip him of everything. I promise you he's going to turn on you. So God goes, go ahead. So Job loses everything. He's in this like slump for a long time, and naturally everyone around him's like looking at him sideways like, Job, I thought you was an upstanding man of God. Why are you struggling like this? And so he starts to question. He does question God. He's crying out to God, but he weathers the storm, and God gives him everything times 2 or times 10, whatever the story is. So you could look at that, and he could have been stuck in that space of quote unquote failure, right? But the whole point, what he learned was that no, it was just a test. God was just building a better opportunity for him. He just had to learn what was really going on for real. He had to slow down. This is why I love therapy. You slow down and you analyze what's really happening here. What's really important, to your point. If I lose money, do I know how to get the money back? Is that the issue? No, I know how to. So like really slowing things down and looking at it for what it is, and looking at the opportunity to perfect the next chapter of your life. That's what I've learned through failure. I mean, there's been many times, bro. So like I said, after my dad went through his situation, there's a lot of stuff that happened after that. And I started to take more risks. I started to like, let's see who I am. Like, let's see what I'm supposed to be doing. And that only crystallized what IBOC became. Like that's part of how, I was able to step into that and work for myself and not work for anyone else, and not go get up every day kind of being like this sort of robot and shrinking myself.
Let's take a pause there. I want to unpack IVOC in its entirety. Listen up, Facebook, IG, TikTok, LinkedIn, YouTube. If you're just tapping in with us, you are right on time. We're really talking about what it looks like to grow into responsibility before you feel ready. We've already unpacked how perspective and reframing can shift everything. And what's coming next is how you actually stay consistent when clarity isn't fully there yet. But before we go deeper, we're going to pause and go into the 3-2-1 with Murph, where I share 3 thoughts, 2 quotes, and 1 reflective prompt for you. For 1, responsibility will outpace readiness. Responsibility will outpace your readiness. Life won't wait for you to feel prepared. It will require you to become prepared. So the question becomes, what do you do when you're cold before you're confident? What do you do when you're cold before you're confident? Thought number 2, reframing is survival, not just mindset. Reframing is survival, not just mindset. How you interpret your situation determines whether you stay stuck or you step forward. But what happens when your current situation, or current perspective rather, is the very thing that's holding you back? What happens when your current perspective is the very thing that's holding you back? And the last thought I have for you today, growth isn't proven in clarity, it's proven in consistency. You don't need to have it all figured out to move. You just need to keep showing up. And that's something people probably get tired of me saying that. I always post comments, keep showing up, because I'll be like proud of the person. I want them to keep, because you don't know how much you're impacting whoever you're in front of by showing up. And I tell them, keep showing up as the, encourage them. Quote 1, growth doesn't wait for you to be ready. It responds to you deciding. Most people are waiting when they should be moving. Quote 2, you don't rise to clarity, you build it through action. Clarity is often a result, not a requirement. Here's a prompt I want you to think about, stew on, process. Where in your life are you waiting to feel ready instead of deciding to show up anyway? I'm going to leave that with you. I want to do I had an org spotlight. I'm going to share that one next week. I want to spotlight, shouts out to the Worcester-based semi-pro basketball team out here in Worcester. This Saturday, 2 p.m. in Worcester at Forest Grove. Shouts out to Forest Grove Middle School. I rock with them heavy. My assistant principal, Miss Murphy, she the real one. And the principal definitely top dog. My G. Listen, we're playing the New England Suns. They're coming out of Boston. It's a really dope game. Bigger than basketball. It's all about bringing the community together. Kids are free. Pull up. Link in bio at Worcester Majors. Tap in. Bring your family. Bring some friends. Come experience what we're looking to build out here in Worcester. 2 p.m. Forest Grove. We'll see you there for the woo. For the woo. All right, let's get back into it, because I need Isiah to unpack all the things he's doing, the great work. IVOC, what is it? How did it come about? Who are we impacting?
Love it. Yeah. So also, yeah, shout out to Worcester Majors. I know you hit us up for to let some of our kids perform at the halftime. So that's gonna be dope.
Oh, yeah. Who we got? Jeremiah?
Yeah, we got Jeremiah. It goes by, his name's Jeremiah Malay. He's a UPCS student. He's a junior right now in high school. Very, very talented young man. Very creative. He's kind of like Tyler the Creator, Andre 3000. That type of a vibe, that type of an energy. Talk about a young man who is pretty fearless. Like, that's Jeremiah. He's very artsy and creative. But yeah, so Inner Voice Outer Change. So we're a nonprofit organization primarily servicing youth in Worcester, Massachusetts. We focus on mental wellness through creative self-expression, music, videography, photography, creation of multimedia projects. We really want to just help our kids communicate what's going on in their world. Creative storytelling. You mentioned reframing before. Reframing the narrative that's been placed upon you. The things that have happened in your life. Let's hear it from your perspective, right? Is it trauma, or is it triumph, if you will? Is it about just kind of a day in the life of a kid. So we give them the tools and resources to creatively express themselves. We
Mm-hmm.
have one community hub space. Shouts out to Unity Radio Worcester. They open up their doors and allow us in their space at 31 Waldo Street in Worcester. So we have time with the kids, couple days a week, Tuesdays and Thursdays from 4 to 6, and we use their recording studio. But the beginning of IVOC was really about going to where the kids are. So another part of our programming is we have these portable recording studios where we go to the schools that we're contracted with in the city. We pull up and we share a classroom, and we have deep conversation discussions and help them translate that to the music. A little bit about the beginning stages of IVOC. So I've told this story before. I'll keep it very short. I used to work for the state child protective agency called DCF. So I was a
Okay.
social worker there. Man, I was so blinded and jaded by the systems and what they actually do. But I was in that system for a while. I was working in that system for 7 years. And I had this one kid who was 17, and he loved to rap. He was rapping all the time. And naturally, when you ask him, yo, like career wise, what are you gonna do? Like, let's think about this. I'm a rap. That's that's all he would say. And I was like, cool. You're not really that good. And at the end of the day, the likelihood of you becoming a rapper is just like very slim. So let's think about something else. Again, that's the young me. That's horrible message to kids. But he was a kid who ran away a lot. We placed him in Springfield and Gardner and Worcester. Everywhere we placed him, he's running away. So this one day, I get the call. It's like 4:30. I'm kind of like ready to go home, ready to end the workday, and they're like, "Oh, we found your kid. Do you want to come and get him and bring him to his next placement?" So I was like, "Of course I do." I was heated. Pick him up, and I'm like yelling at him, like, "Yo, what do you want, man? I'm pouring into you. I'm doing all these things. I'm making these moves. You don't." And he's like, "Isiah, you don't listen, man. I've been telling you what I wanted this whole time. You don't listen." Naturally, he's like, I'm gonna be a rapper. That's all I care about. It's literally all he had in his life. And so the light bulb finally went off. I had a friend who had his own recording studio. We gave him I said, listen, I'm gonna give you a week of every week you're gonna get recording studio time. You just stay in your placement. We're gonna make sure you get to and from that recording studio. And he started creating magic, man. He really poured into his craft, and he stayed in that placement. He like graduated from the placement. So that was the birth of IVOC. It was myself and my good friend, my brother, who's the co-founder. At the time we were working together, and we just started pushing, creating IVOC. And it's been a long road, but where we're at now is a much better place for our kids in the city.
Man, yeah, I got the opportunity to come to the last event you had, and the showcase. I guess it was a showcase, right?
Yeah, summer jump off event. So it was our 4th annual one. It was a youth showcase. Kids put on for the city. Original songs, tracks, beats that they created. They showcased them at the event.
Man, I might have to tap into some talent out there, because I need.
I know. Yeah, get some features or something.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, we can talk about that offline. No, thanks for sharing. I dropped the IVOCforyouth.org. Go support. I'm sure they need volunteers, donations. But yeah, I love it. And actually, we could talk about it too. Anyway, we could look and see how what's the majors we could collab doing something. The coalition just hit us up, the potential collaboration. So I'm like, yo, there's no what we call it. What's the cap on a car? Is it the governor? The governor. And it stops the car from going over a certain speed. And a lot of times we have that on our life where we just only go to this certain max. You got to take that thing off and you got to open it up. And that's like, for me, I'm like, we can do anything. So I'm excited about that. Question for you. When you look at the man you become today, Isiah, what would surprise the younger version of Isiah the most?
So like I said, I back in the day, I was very, I would say I was very shy, very anxious. I was very quiet, kept to myself. Now I knew everybody. Everybody knew me.
Mm,
I wasn't timid. Like I wasn't afraid to stick up for myself, nothing like that. But I was just very inside all the time. Literally, physically inside, but just in my head a lot. And so you
mm,
would not catch me putting on a youth showcase and talking to a youth. That was not. I would not have foreseen that. In my mind, I was going to stay, at my desk and do this therapy and, um, change lives one by one. But yeah, so this version of me that's much more audacious, willing to
mm.
take risks, like you said, push it to the max. Um, that's like that wasn't in my headspace. That was like a whole different person. I'm a whole different person now than than
Yeah.
than back then in that regard.
Mm. I
Yeah.
imagine even in your work, like professionally and personally, you do a lot of reflecting and you look back at where you've come from and how you've gotten there and kind of like assess what you need to do to push forward.
Oh, Murph, I was like way too over analytical, man. I would like my wife would be like, just do it already. Like, what do you think? Like, just go
Right.
ahead.
Right.
That whole thing of failure, right? Like the feeling of failure was so powerful back then. But yeah, man, I wrestled with being a black male therapist, social worker. Um, like you said, the past 5 years or so, it's kind of like cool now. Like it's kind of like
Right.
trending. And but when I first started 23 years ago, nah, it was like, what kind of a man does this, right? Like especially a black
Right.
man. I
Right.
wrestled with that for a while. So the younger version of myself would never have like really seen this for sure.
Mm. When you talk about mental health, I just thought about this. I'm gonna send this to you. I haven't released it yet, but I got this song. I think I'm gonna call it "Mental Support." That had because for me when I do my music, it's been so much. So that's been my therapy.
Yep.
And again, I have no music background. I just really like self-taught and just do the studying, the coaching, and
Yeah.
all the
Yeah.
hours. But I just get an idea. I'm like, damn, I want to be able to give a talk about mental health. And I need a song to go with it, and that's how I build out my options.
Okay.
Um, so I'm gonna send that to you.
Yeah.
But
Please do.
let's pivot. Definitely want to leverage getting some advice from you. Not old, but old wise one.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
OLE.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
what? What? Oh, you got a thought? Go ahead. What you thinking?
No. 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 I'm good.
All right.
I'm good.
So,
Yeah.
as a dad, what's the best piece of advice you ever received about being a father? And now, having
Mm.
lived that out 13 years or so, what's the best advice you would give a new father?
Yeah. This is a great question, Murph. I think I think it revolves around like patience. So patience with my with so patience with myself as a dad. Just
Mm,
starting out as a new dad. Um, I think I was motivated a lot by fear. So really
mm,
transforming that to love. They say you never should operate out of spirit of fear, right? It's always operating out of spirit of love, and let that lead. There's so much going on in this world. I mean, you have young kids as well, and so not to let myself be afraid of all of that. Having faith in God really helps wash that out. But that's
mm-hmm,
the main thing. So being patient with myself and also
mm,
patient in my relationship with my son. Like I said, he's a lot like me in terms of kind of quiet, very
mm-hmm,
popular. He's very confident, um, got the swag and all that stuff. But when it comes to deeper conversations, it's a lot. It's hard to kind of pull that out of him. And so
mm,
sometimes I would get like, in my head, am I doing the right thing? How can I approach this differently? And I'm in this field, I do this work, right? So shouldn't I
right.
know? So just like getting rid of all of that and being more
Mm,
patient with the process and relying on what I'm doing. Like as long as I'm making an effort, I'm doing what I need to do. things will fall into place the way they need to.
Now, when you said motivated by fear, what would you mean there?
Oh yeah. So, you think about the things that our kids can access, the people that can access them, the identity stuff, right? What does it mean to be a Black boy? There's so many mixed messages.
Mm.
We got like, I mean, yeah, just like, what does it mean to be a Black boy, Black girl, having these fluid conversations and not being afraid of my son like being overcome by all these different things.
Mm.
Um, and we can be motivated and do things out of like an anxious mind, an anxious space, or we can settle that and really operate out of a spirit of love. Like, because I love my son, I'm doing this, not because I'm afraid this is going to happen to him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No, I appreciate that. A question: what's one piece of advice you'd give a man who's waiting to feel ready before taking the next step?
Oh my gosh. I'm curious. I know this is your podcast. I'm going to answer, but I would love to hear your thoughts too. So you got to do it. Let's not. You can be, like I said, I was overly calculated when I was much younger. The blessing is in taking the risk. Just have your eyes open, ears open. Let's learn what we're doing while we're doing it. There's no need to not do it. It's like imperative, like I think about at IVOC, we have these conversations with kids all the time. Like the idea of IVOC being a destination, but also a starting point, so we have to use our mind to envision the future, and then we can manifest it and crystallize it. But if you can't even envision it, you too afraid to like take that time to envision. This is a problem. This is like you're gonna lose out on a lot of life that way.
Listen, and you said I'll share my thought. I think like even for me, man, I ask people, when's the last time you did something for the first time? Like people scared to just try something. And here's me, like I'm like anything, you know what I'm saying? But I also have like faith where you like, it's like seeing the invisible and believing the impossible. Like that's what you got to have. And then paired with that, I got just delusional self-confidence. And now it takes, time to get there, but that's where you get. And then, because here's the other thing. People are afraid, and I was just talking about this the other day. We're afraid to like suck at something and be trash and not good. But guess what, buddy? That's how it all starts. You know what I'm saying?
How it starts. Yeah.
Right. Now, for me, my superpower is I'm not going to be a bum for long. I can tell you that. Bro, because
you're going to figure it out quick.
Like, my study game is ridiculous. Like, who's done this before me at a high level? What did they do to get there? I'm going to reverse engineer that, and I'm going to go 10x. You know what I mean? But it's like you said, it's that belief that it's power.
Yeah.
You get me? And it starts there. So with the mindset shift from that victim mindset to the creator mindset, and we all got the ability to do anything. You got to just say, yourself, I could do this. Now your brain starts working and figuring it out. Once you say I can't, your brain shuts off. So I always say, the person that says that I can and the person that says that I can't, guess what? They're both right. So you just got to choose which words you're going to use. And like you said something earlier about words, word association. Yeah, it came back to that. So yeah, that's my thought on that.
Yeah, I love it, man. And so the thing is too, right? When you talk about mental health, like trauma will have you stuck in that scarcity mindset, that survival mindset, if you will. Because when I took a risk last time, this happened, and that happened before. That doesn't mean like now you have an opportunity, a chance to make sure it doesn't happen again. Like kind of like what you said. I'm not gonna suck for long, right?
Yeah.
but trauma will, like, obviously we know it's a real thing, and it'll have you in these loops. And that's kind of what I was saying before. Getting stuck in these loops because we're not slowing down enough to figure out, wait, how do I crack away at this? How do I veer off so I'm not going down the same loop year after year? I love this song by Nas called Second Childhood. I think I told you about it before. Verse 2, man. Second Childhood, verse 2. That's literally what I'm talking about, what we're talking about. It's like Arrested Development, right? We get stuck because trauma will have us in a spirit of fear, and we'll be stuck, man. That feels so real. So yeah, I think that's why it is important to go towards it. I always say go towards the smoke, sit in it, breathe it in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then we're like, oh, this is home now. We can function well here.
Right.
Yeah.
You made me think of this book, Go for No. It talks about the power of embracing failure. And there's 5 types of failure. I forgot one of them, so that'll be y'all homework, okay? So one is the ability to fail, which we all have.
Yes.
2 is the willingness to fail. 3, the wantingness to fail. I forget 4, but the last one is failing exponentially, where your whole team is locked into that vision, mission, that mindset, and you're all chasing failure, wanting it, willing to get to it, and then y'all gonna get to success faster. And I think that's just so powerful. Quick read. It may not even be 100 pages, but that's just the levels of failure. Because a lot of times people just, we want to run away from failure, and I say run to that smoke, like Isiah said. Man, see, I don't know. Me and Isiah talk for like forever. But I wanna. It was a lot here. We got about 8 minutes. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna give it to you to have the final word, man. If someone remembers nothing else from this conversation, Isiah, what do you need them to hold on to?
Yeah, I think it's important to understand what you're telling yourself. Understand the narrative that you keep reciting in your mind. This is going to dictate a lot of things. It's going to dictate your mood. It's going to dictate what you actually end up doing, right? Your behaviors. So the power of reframing, we talked about that. IVOC is all about the power of storytelling. You can reframe your story. The thing that happened to you, maybe when you were a kid, you had a kid's mind, right? Now that you're an adult, I'm believing you have way more wisdom, perspective, understanding, insight. Use that to reframe and give yourself grace. The thing that happened to you, reframe that. And I would definitely encourage people to use therapy for this process, to connect with a professional that's going to support you in this process, that's trained to help you know how to reframe your thoughts, how to get the best of what you're telling yourself, keep getting a good headspace. With therapy and the process of therapy, like I said, it wasn't designed for us Black and brown folks, but here we are now. And you can find a practitioner that is well-versed in racialized trauma that can really help you become the best version of yourself. And so maybe it's not the second therapist you get. Maybe you got to fire that person and you try another therapist. Don't quit on that process, especially if you're struggling with real deep trauma history, trauma background.
Hey,
There's a few,
Isiah, what's a good resource to find a therapist for people watching and listening?
Yeah, I Know Psych is one. I think it's INNOPSYCH. This is a website, a platform designed for folks of color. So a lot of the clinicians are of color as well, or at least have a specialized background in that. So I Know Psych is a really good one. There's also, you could go to Psychology Today and put in the search, like specific type of therapist that you're looking for, or if you know a style of therapy you're looking for, Psychology Today allows you to find that type of person. Most people go through insurance, so that's another route. You can go through your insurance company. and look at who's in your area and or like sort of who specializes in what you're looking for. But I know psych is really built and designed for us, Black and brown folks. So I would
Okay.
definitely encourage that. And then a good read. I love Resma Menakem. So he has this book. I think I told you about it already. I think you might have bought it. My Grandmother's Hands. So he specifically specializes in trauma, racialized trauma, and the book highlights sort of 3 different perspectives: the trauma that Black and brown folks experience, trauma that white folks experience, and then the police. And he sort of helps you work through. He gives you practical. He calls them reps to practice, to work through trauma. When we're triggered, what happens physically, emotionally. Like, so these are really good resources. It's not, I would say it's the layperson could understand it, but also the person who's been doing the work, a clinician or has been involved with therapy for a long time, for sure.
Last question. So, because this is actually personally, I remember I was on the call with one of my girls. She said, Murph, you got to, tap into therapy. And I was like, all right, I'm still hood me inside.
Yeah, who does that, right?
All right. So I tried, she sent me a site, and then I go on this site, and it's like this laundry list of therapy and this and that. I'm like, so for the people like me that, 1, don't think I really need therapy, 2, which one of these do I even start with? Like, how you attack that process?
Yeah, no, that is definitely valid. There's no cheat code to that, for sure. That's, I would say, in that situation, if you're feeling overwhelmed about it, you really should probably connect with your people. So like we talked about community, right? So even though it might be risky, tap on your, one of your good friends. Hey, have you started therapy? Do you know anyone? Right? That's always another route to go.
Yeah.
And there's power in that too. They say folks who there's like 1 out of 4 folks have experienced suicidal ideation, have experienced like the idea of not just dying, but like the plan and everything. And so you'd be surprised if you open up, if you've experienced that yourself and you open up to someone else, they probably have experienced it too. Right. And so then you get this is what I've been doing. This is what I've tried.
Right.
This is the therapist, this is the organization. Don't go here. Right. So in addition to kind of poking around with that laundry list, we all know folks who probably are connected to a therapist or in that world. Yeah.
Now for me, it's been a while ago, but I remember that. And anytime I talk to somebody like you in this space, I'm anxious for listeners and viewers, like, what's that approach? Because when people need help, they're gonna find an excuse to like not go. So this is one of those barriers that I'm like trying to say, all right, fellas, this is how you tap in. But to Isaiah's point, tapping in on people and just trial and error. You know what I mean? So
yeah, just like you said, you're not gonna suck for a long time. So you start to learn yourself and what you want, what you need in the therapist, and you crystallize it, and then you can really like, this person looks like a better fit.
Sweet. Isaiah, dope conversation, good brother. I hope everybody watching and listening got something from it. You and I will be connecting soon. Tell Jeremiah to shoot me that so I can get to the DJ. And his logo in Pinterest, we can do a flyer. But or is anywhere I could be of service, definitely tap me. And you and I will talk soon, all right?
Likewise, real quick, man. I just want to say, great job, bro. You out here doing a lot. For real. You out here doing a lot. I see you. And it's ill. I saw it was an event. It was the basketball event where you were playing in the game. After the game, bro, I was like, man, this is dope. Your daughter was with you.
Yeah.
You're always a dad. You're always on the job, right? It's dope to see. And I think that alone, when people see that, it's important. Because because people see all the other things you do, but that's probably the most important thing, you being a dad,
Okay.
right? So I
Yes,
just want to
sir.
say, bro, I see that. And I know I have one, you have, I think, two, right? Two
Yeah,
daughters?
too. Yeah, my son.
Yeah. And so I know how hard it is to have a vision, right? You know you're passionate about, but then you have these other responsibilities, and that balance is tricky. So just
Yeah.
saluting you for that.
No, appreciate it, good brother. Appreciate it, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Definitely. We'll talk soon, all right?
All right, brother. Peace.
My man. Shouts out to Isaiah, y'all. Oh, man, listen. TikTok. Who that? Wednesday, what up? Wednesday, what up? What up? What up? I gotta tap in with you, boy. What's up with the Ripple? I see you doing work too. I gotta tap in with you. I'll be getting the newsletters and stuff. So keep it coming, keep showing up, my G. That's a wrap, good people. If there's something that spoke to you tonight, spoke to your spirit, don't keep it, man. Share that thing forward. Somebody out there needs that reminder. Take a moment to refer 3, 2, 1 with Murph. Because whole step forward will always beat standing still. If this conversation challenged you, subscribe to the Breakthrough Bunker. We drop a newsletter weekly on Wednesdays. Until next time, good people, keep building, keep believing, keep showing up. Hey, listen, Knicks in 6, all right? Knicks in 6. I like that. That's that. Knicks in 6. Oh, yeah. Because nothing changes if nothing changes, y'all. Stay resilient. Do remember, it's all about you. Yeah. Put it on my hood grown, NY, Brownsville, Bed-Stuy. I done came from the lowest low, still walk with my head high. All my life, I've been through it. Made it out, and I'm getting to it. Can't tell me I didn't do it.